Stagnating wages, rising living costs, and diminishing opportunities are now the order of the day in the UK. And who would want to live in such an environment? Despite being only the 80th largest country, the UK has the 6th largest economy. But that is now in the past. Despite having an impressive history of strong economic performance, the UK is now facing a serious problem to the point that no one wants to live there anymore. Wondering why? Here are the reasons. Describing everything happening in the UK as just a brain drain is an understatement. Let's take the health sector for instance. The UK has 3.2 doctors for every 1,000 people, ranking only 25th among the OECD countries and the lowest among European countries. To make the situation worse, a survey by the UK Medical Journal revealed that around 1 in 3 UK medical students plan to leave the NHS within 2 years of graduating, either to practice abroad or to abandon medicine altogether. If this happens, it would spell disaster for the UK's health service. But this is just the tip of the iceberg of the UK crisis. Before you think this is exaggerated, have you observed the influx of Brits living in Russia and Poland? If they are migrating to those countries, it shows the situation in the UK is really bad. Now, don't just think that only the young professionals are living. Even the millionaires are fleeing the UK, terrified by the massive brain drain.
Are the wealthiest people in Britain fleeing our country because of high taxes? Well, an analysis by the Adam Smith Institute claims that Britain is set to experience the worst exodus of millionaires.
So many skilled workers are leaving the UK, and experts believe there will be a serious shortage by 2030. This raises a big question. Why doesn't anyone want to live in the UK anymore? The UK's economy has changed a lot over the years. Before the 1970s, it was built on factories and manufacturing, but then it shifted towards services like banking, shops, and hospitality. Today, 80% of the UK's economy is based on services, which has helped in some ways, but also caused problems. One big issue is productivity, which means how efficiently things are done. Strong productivity helps businesses grow, raises wages, and improves living standards. However, in the UK, productivity has struggled, making life harder for workers and slowing down the economy. When productivity is strong, the economy grows, wages rise, and life gets better. However, when productivity is weak, everything slows down. People struggle to afford things, businesses don't expand, and the UK falls behind compared to other countries. With fewer skilled workers staying, this problem might get even worse. Since the 2008 financial crisis, the UK's productivity growth has languished at a mere 0.4% per year, falling far behind the average of the 25 richest OECD countries. The UK's productivity gap compared to France, Germany, and the US has doubled. It now stands at 18%, costing the UK £3,400 in lost output per person. You might be wondering how productivity relates to people leaving the country. When a country's productivity is low, it slows down the economy and makes life harder for the residents. This brings us to the next reason why people no longer want to live in the UK. Imagine spending years at a top UK university, working hard, and finally landing a job, only to find out that your salary hasn't really changed in over 15 years. Many graduates back then started with £30,000 per year, or even less, which might have been decent in 2008, but today, it barely covers basic expenses. Since 2008, the cost of living in the UK has risen by at least 20%. Rent, food, transport, everything is more expensive, but salaries haven't kept up. In cities like London, renting a place alone is nearly impossible unless you're earning a much higher salary. Most young professionals are forced to live with roommates well into their late 20s or 30s, leaving us with the big question: who's going to keep sharing an apartment into their 40s? With wages staying low and expenses rising, many people are looking for better opportunities elsewhere. Canada and Australia pay better and offer a better life, so people are moving there. The UK has great culture and history, but living there has become too expensive. This is one common reason why many are leaving. Let's not even talk about childcare. We all know that most married couples want to have kids. At first, you will feel great and joyful having those little lads call you Papa and Dada. However, as these kids grow, the cost of providing their needs increases beyond imagination. Being called Papa and Dada, or the fleeting joy you feel, won't pay the bills. At this point, parents often start reducing other expenses just to get by. Typically, only families with the fewest children can cover their basic needs. So, what happens to families with 4 or 5 or more children, especially in the UK, where living costs keep rising? Many are now thinking about not having kids or even leaving the country. According to reports, the UK has one of the most expensive childcare systems in the world, with some parents spending over 20% of their salaries on childcare costs. Is it that bad? Yes, it is. A report by the Children's Commissioner for England shows that nearly 1 in 4 families in the UK have just one parent raising the children, and almost half of young people under 21 haven't lived with both parents as they grew up. Raising kids can be expensive, and single parents often struggle to cover all the costs alone. This can lead to stress and family problems. The Department for Work and Pensions also tracks separated families and child maintenance arrangements. Many single parents rely on child maintenance payments, but the system has faced criticism for being unreliable and inconsistent. With this, many are starting to wonder if having children is even worth it anymore. With rising costs and little financial support, families struggle to afford nursery fees, babysitters, and everyday needs. For some, moving to a country with lower childcare costs and better benefits feels like the only solution. Another big factor driving people away from the UK is return migration. You must be wondering how this counts. Well, it does. Many people who once moved to the UK for work or better opportunities are now leaving or planning to leave. Many came hoping for better paychecks and a more comfortable life, but over time, things cost more and salaries aren't growing. This has made staying less encouraging. Now, whether they're Poles, Bulgarians, Romanians, or even British citizens, more and more are choosing to move elsewhere for a better future. After the 2008 economic crisis, many migrants in European countries, especially from Eastern Europe, lost their jobs and struggled financially. As a result, many decided to go back home, where life was more stable and affordable. Countries like Ireland, Spain, and the UK saw many people leaving instead of staying. Some migrants found new jobs and stayed, but moving back was the best option for many. Take, for example, a Romanian worker who moved to the UK in 2015 for a better paying job. Back then, his salary covered rent and bills, allowing him to save. Fast forward to today, rent has doubled, groceries cost more, and his paycheck no longer has as many digits as it used to. He finally decided to return home, where his salary buys him a more comfortable life. Countries like Poland, Denmark, the USA, Japan, and Austria keep offering better options. A British teacher who left for Japan now earns more, lives in a modern apartment she can actually afford, and enjoys a better work-life balance. Similarly, a Polish nurse who returned to Poland found that hospitals invested more in staff, making her job less stressful. All these people wouldn't find reasons to remain in the UK, knowing there are better options. Leaving the UK isn't just about money. It's about finding a better life. Many who have moved away say it was the best decision they ever made because they feel happier, safer, and more financially secure. Life in the UK is getting tougher for many people, and some are asking themselves a big question: stay and struggle or move somewhere with better opportunities? Some might argue that despite the challenges, many people from developing countries still sees every chance to move to the UK. Even though the UK continues to welcome more migrants into the country than it sees leave, research indicates that those leaving tend to be more skilled than those arriving, contributing to a concerning brain drain trend. Young, skilled professionals are leaving the UK to build their careers abroad. The UK still has great things to offer, but for many, the daily challenges they face make migrating a better decision. What would you do in that situation? Let's look at another clear reason why the UK might have few or no citizens in the near future.
The last thing they want to think about is joining the workforce. But it is recruitment season, and the outlook, according to the Reed Jobs report, is cloudy.
Many workers in the UK feel underpaid, undervalued, and stuck in stressful jobs with little chance of moving up. We all know that everyone deserves to be treated with respect, right? Well, when you look around in different organizations in the UK, bad management is a common complaint, with employees saying they are overworked, ignored, and treated unfairly. Some workplaces have toxic environments where workers are expected to do far more than their job description without extra pay or recognition. Is that fair? Stress levels are high, and many employees feel burned out because bosses set unrealistic expectations and offer little support. Then, when employees can't meet the expected standard, they still have to face the consequences, which most of the time is a slash of their paycheck. Another major issue is low pay. Many jobs still pay the same as they did years ago, even though living expenses keep rising.
Jobs for graduates are on the decline, and inflation has taken a big bite out of their wages.
Some workers need a university degree just to get a minimum wage job, which is unfair after spending years studying. On top of that, many jobs have no real career progression, meaning people stay in the same position for years with no promotions and no salary increase. This leaves workers feeling stuck, frustrated, and exhausted. Employees also complain about a lack of respect in the workplace. Some companies treat workers as replaceable, offering zero-hour contracts or unstable jobs where people don't even know whether they'll have work next week. Many workers feel unappreciated, facing long hours, little recognition, and no real benefits. Without job security or fair wages, many are looking for better opportunities elsewhere. Countries like Canada, Australia, and Germany offer better salaries, fairer working conditions, and more respect for workers. Many UK workers are deciding to move abroad for a higher quality of life. Should we conclude that the currency is overvalued? It's about a third of what it was worth now in US dollars. Nevertheless, remember that the grass is not greener on the other side. What's your take on all these? Low income, high tax, stagnant wages, flat economy, high rent prices, and on top of all that, a tax and spend fascist government. Yes, the UK does suck. Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. If this video was informative, like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more updates about your country's economy. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.